Hey everybody, welcome to Houdini Hangout. It is the 1st of July, and I hope everybody's having a great day, night, whatever time of day it might be for you. Things are a little bit toasty in my part of the world, and from what I can see, it sounds like everything's pretty warm over in Europe as well. So I hope everybody's doing okay out there. And yeah, seems like it's little bit of a warm summer so far. Hey Zach, hey Procedural, nice to see you guys. Nice to have you here. If anything is off or weird audio-wise with the stream, you can see I am slightly in a different setup with my headphones because mine decided that they were not going to work anymore. They wanted to do this now, so that's really fun. Hopefully have a fix coming for that, but I've got just my earbuds in right now, so hopefully everything is sounding all right. It's a little hard for me to monitor everything. Hey Maddie, hey Cuevas, maybe? Hello everybody, welcome. Great, glad it sounds good. Thanks, Greg. Cool. Well, yeah, so like I said, we're here at the beginning of July. Things are starting to get rolling. Canada Day today, and I think it's Canada Day today, if I'm remembering correctly. And it'll be the 4th of July in the US this weekend, I think. But yeah, so some holidays in our North America neighborhood. So it's kind of a long weekend for a lot of us here, some vacation times and things like that. But anyways, yeah, so we're in, if my dog gets near headphones, she thinks they're a chew toy and destroy them. That's brutal. My dog's great. He's never chewed on anything or done anything like he's never chewed on anything at all. So I'm thrilled with that. However, you know, I'm apparently I'm apparently the one that's more destructive. Apparently there's a little tiny piece of plastic inside of them that I don't even know what I did. I was like, oh, you know what I think I was doing? I was replacing the ear pads in them, and when I was replacing the ear pads, I think I might have moved it a little bit too hard the one way. And there's like this tiny, tiny little piece of plastic in there that just straight up broke. And it was great. Very exciting. Hey, Accessible, welcome. Oh, cool. Nice, MGO. That sounds wonderful. Glad you're enjoying your Vex learning journey. Yeah, Matt obviously made up all the content, so I can't take any credit for that. Just went through it, put it on the internet. So yeah, it's great. I'm glad it's being helpful for you. All right. Well, tonight we are going to take a look at some kind of slow motion simulation stuff. Somebody in the topic suggestions, who was it? Sorry, from last week, I'm forgetting. Lucian looks like suggested this, and it's from a show that I'd never heard of before, Your Friends and Neighbors. Oh, it's on Apple TV, that's why I never heard of it before. I currently do not have Apple TV, but I probably will someday. Hey, No Dinosaurs, welcome. And yeah, so we're gonna do some like slow motion simulation. We'll look at it in a second, but gonna play around with that, see what we can come up with. Not 100% sure exactly what we're going to do there, but we'll give it a shot, see what happens. Yeah, a lot of like zero gravity kind of slow motion simulations and things like that. Cool. All right, well, that's what we're going to be working on tonight. And yeah, like I normally say, if you guys have any questions or thoughts, or want to suggest some better way of doing something that I'm working on, as always, throw it in the chat. Hey Enya, hope temps are comfortable. Not super comfortable. They're warm for where I am. Let me see. Let me see if I can do the quick conversion here, since I'm in freedom height over here, and not the normal units of the world. What does it say it even is? Oh, I think it was supposed to get up to, it was in the low 30s Celsius here. So pretty much like what sounds like most of most of Europe. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, we must be getting the 99 coming our way probably tomorrow then, because I'm on the other side of the lake. So yeah, lake neighbors. A few days ago it was 40 to 45 in Pol. That's insane. It's never been where I live, it has never been over, let's see what temperature. It's never been over 37 degrees Celsius ever in the history of recorded temperature readings, basically. So so I do enjoy that, but we also get a couple feet of snow in storms in the wintertime. So, you know, you get the good and the bad. So oh boy, yeah, rendering on these hot days are brutal. I mean, I'm not even doing like anything too heavy, but like just having me and my wife, both of our computers in this office are like, it can get warm. Yeah, France has been crazy from what I understand, like absolutely wild. So yeah, I hope everybody's staying cool and safe. But anyways, with all of that said, yeah, hopefully everybody's doing great. And if you have any free sauna, or I should say sauna, I think I said it. That's how you say it a little bit better in Scandinavian countries. In the north of Spain, 30. Oh, wow. Yeah, 30 is not bad for Spain. Yeah. So yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions or thoughts, anything like that, please feel free to throw it in the chat. As we're working on stuff, obviously I don't know everything, so it's great to have other people chime in and give some suggestions on what we should be doing. Also, if you'd like to join the Discord server, you can go to houdinihangout.com. You can find a free invite to the Discord server there. So feel free to go on there and join up. And yeah, happy to have new folks there. Seems like we get a couple new people every week, and it's really nice. We've had some, some people that are really new, some people that have been in the industry for over a decade. So it's really nice to have kind of that, a whole bunch of different people kind of coming together and asking questions and things like that. I often say that I wake up in the morning and there's been a whole conversation on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess everybody's doing good. I just kind of glance through. I'm like, yeah, looks like questions have been answered. So, it's cool. I appreciate all the European folks chatting on there and stuff like that. So anyways, all right. I think that will do it. Hey, how's it playing? How's it going? For our little time here, let's jump over and start getting into some Houdini stuff now. Let me just move over here. There we go. Great. All right, let me pull up this explosion thing and we can take a look at it. Let's see here. Change this over. Oh, good. My face is on the left side of this. Fantastic. Great. All right, I'm going to mute this. I don't think that's even on here, so I think that's good. Oh, it might have been. Hopefully it doesn't get me demonetized. All right, so this is the intro video here. Yeah, so there was two specific ones that were mentioned in here. There was one about a briefcase, which I think is actually... it took me a second to get this up here. Okay, so the briefcase and the paper sheets there. So that's kind of cool. I think we could definitely I think we could try that out. See what that looks like. But yeah, pretty interesting. Haven't seen this before, so kind of an interesting thing to play around with and see what's in here. Like slow motion fluids and, RBD stuff and debris and all that kind of thing. Pretty interesting. I love this. Oh, Patek Philippe. Nice watch. Oh, wow. That's kind of inappropriate for this stream. Jeez. A little inappropriate there. Anyways, lots of fun simulations in here, but I do think this would be kind of fun to play with. Let's take a look at this here and see. Maybe we'll just slow it down a little bit, take a quick look at what this is doing, just so I can process it a little bit mentally, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so it's really just popping up in the air and shooting some papers out of it. I don't think the papers are like being sourced or anything per se. Oh no, they probably are. Yeah, they probably are getting sourced from within there. That's kind of cool. All right, yeah, let's see what we can do. I think we could probably come up with something there. All right, so I'll keep this over to the side here, and I can always pull that back up if need be. Hey, somebody just joined the server. Nice. Lots of initial velocity and a big drag. Yeah, that's a great comment there, Sklabadur. Yeah, Enya, what show has... Oh, that show has Olivia Munn in it. I'm a fan of hers. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure even who Olivia Munn is. I'm sure I would know if I don't know. I'm not I don't know. I'm not very much on... I don't know all my actors and actresses that well, so. Today I'm going with an iced coffee instead of regular coffee, so enjoying that. All right, let's go on intranet here, and let's see here. Let's go to let's see if Polyhaven has anything that'll be helpful for us here. Assets, models, great. Do we have anything here? Oh, that's interesting. A medical box that could be a good stand-in. Let me see here. Do we have a briefcase, suitcase? Oh, there's a suitcase. Okay, interesting. Let's just see. Case. Cigarette case. No. What was that? What's that came up here a second ago? What did they even call that? A box? Medical box. It's an interesting box. That's kind of interesting. This suitcase will probably work as long as it's two separate pieces. Yeah, that would probably work just fine. I am just going to... All right, yeah, let's try that. I think that should work. I'll download that. Save that. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Let me just look at this one more time here. Pull this up. Just want to see. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. I downloaded that. Let's see. Let me zip that. And I'm gonna just move that over to one of my folders here. Okay. All right. So let's grab a geometry node here. Actually, let me throw this up as well. I gotta remember to turn this on so I can. Yeah, there we go. Let's just call this Geo Suitcase. Okay. Cool. Let's go into the file. Grab this. Okay. Let's check out my resources here. And props. Vintage suitcase. There we go. Interesting. Looks like we've got some weird normals going on here, but it looks like we've got 2 nice pieces, so that's good to know. Yeah, what is going on with the normals here? That is some funky normals. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's color, actually. Is it color? Yeah, it's probably color. That's weird. Just clean up some attributes here. We don't need the FBX attributes, I don't think. Let's get rid of color. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Huh. Weird. So probably don't need alpha. Get rid of that. Cool. So let's grab one of these. Do these have different names? Hey, Philip, how's it going? I guess it doesn't really matter which one does it. All right, so we'll just blast out one of these. So let's grab. Okay, perfect. Okay, and we'll do a match size to grab that, and let's put it to the... Oh, actually, we don't need to do that. We can just center it. That'll be fine. And let's finally transform this down to a more manageable size. Something like that, maybe? Yeah, that looks pretty good. About a meter, yeah, just shy of a meter across. That's probably fine. A couple feet. It's a little big maybe, but whatever. That should be fine. Okay. So we've got this going here, so that's great. Yeah, let's do some slow-mo stuff, Philip. That's correct. All right, so we've got this. Let's see here. Where do we want to just say scale? I'm actually gonna throw this up here. And cool. All right, so let's do a transform down here. Hey, Fractaler, how's it going? Leonard's not very happy right now, sorry. All right, let's just transform this and maybe put it up here somewhere. Like that, maybe. And cool, okay. So I'm trying to think of exactly how I want to do this. What was this doing here? Hi, Leonard. Hi, buddy. I know. There's people outside, right? I know. How dare they? How dare they come near our house? It's ridiculous, really. Okay. Yeah, let's do something like that. Okay. So let's see here what we can do. What pieces do we have that this is? Oh, you know what? I can just go over here and turn on the name attribute, and I can kind of see what the different pieces are. Okay. Bottom, top, handle. There's a clasp. Okay. Yeah, Leonard's great. You're okay, buddy. Okay, let's see here. What can we do with this? I'm gonna throw on another transform. And oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do this one first, because this one we want to kind of move it into position. This one we can use to like grab one of these pieces here. And let's see, what do we want to do? Which piece is this anyways? Okay, it's that side. Cool. Hey, AZ Design, nice to have you. Nice to have you. All right, so let's do this. Let's take this thing here. Let's do world alignment, and I can't ever remember what pivot mode is for this, but let's do that. And let's turn on our snapping. I'm just gonna snap it down to right here. That looks like a good spot. Yeah, I think we're gonna animate it going up and open, and then from there we can pop it apart as needed. So I think we'll do that. Okay, so let's turn pivot mode off and see what we've got here. There we go. Nice. That's looking good. Perfect. The clasps are closed, but that's okay. No worries. Cool. Okay, so we've got that we can animate now. Let's rotate that back. So we're going to say this will be so did the pivot mode and the snap just change the pivot transform in the transform SOP? Yes. Yes, it would. The pivot transform is in here now. Looking fresh. Oh, like with my hair? Yes, I did get a haircut not too long ago. Thank you. Thanks, Kieran. I also don't have my headphones on, so it doesn't look like I'm like this right now because my headphones are broken. So that's great. Yeah, some vellum sheets. Exactly. Yes, I think we're going to do that. Yeah. How did I get it to snap? Yeah, that's a great question. So I just turned on this snapping right here. And what is that command? Shift and there we go. Shift exclamation or apostrophe. Shift apostrophe changes it over to pivot. And I turn on the snap with little magnetic snapping tool over here. And so now it'll snap to points and edges and I think different things like that. You can do like multi-snapping with it, but yeah, I'm just gonna move it like there. It's a good spot somewhere on this hinge. Good enough. I mean, I could also have it snap to like somewhere over here as well, but that's close enough. I think that's going to be good. Shortcut for snap is X. There you go. Nice. So yeah, so now we can do that, and now it'll be, you know, more or less correct. It's not exactly right, but it'll work. Okay, so let's say case open and case anim, and this will be our actual animation for the case. And so now we've got these two things here that I can come in and change the rotation of this here. Open it up. So I think I need to take a quick break because I have a feeling that somebody needs to take a potty break. So give me a second and I am going to go let somebody out here. So just give me 1 second here to take care of a little guy here. So I'll be right back. All right. Hey, everybody. Sorry. Sorry about that. My wife just left the house and somebody was really frantic. So anyways, great. Yes, I see some Enya was figuring out how to do the group. Thank you. The group animation stuff. Yeah, using the groups is super helpful, especially when you got name attributes like this. We can do that. All right, so let's do some animation here. All right. My dog's name is Leonard. And he's crazy, but we love him. Okay, so let's see here. So hey Mandy, how's it going? Okay, so let's see here. All right, so let's do this. Maybe just like a keyframe there. There's a famous ad called Leonard in slow motion. I do not know that. That's so funny. All right, so let's see here. Let's do maybe something like that. Just going to let's just keyframe some stuff here first. So we got that going up. We're gonna transition that a little bit to let's see here. We're just going to all right, so let's do this. Sorry, I'm gonna just watch this one more time here. Oh yeah, we're kind of doing like an arc as we go. Okay. It's kind of fun. Okay. Oh man, that's yeah, broken arm. That's no fun. I have not had that happen for a long time, but I have broken my arm twice as a kid, so I do remember that not being an enjoyable thing at all. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna take this like so. Then let's start that. Rehab program was Joy of X. That's awesome. You should let the doctor know that they should prescribe that for all sorts of it'll cure all of your ailments. All right, so let's just kind of keyframe this here. Okay, let's see what to do here. Dr. Estella did it. Yep, exactly. Does he have his doctorate now? Wow. All right. Do we have our Rotate X and Z. There we go. Oh, I was keyframing the rotate. Just hold off on that for a second. This is what I wanted to keyframe first. Just the transform and Y. Recover to H22. I'm not sure what that means. If arms broken. Oh man, that's some major nerd. Some major nerd stuff going on there, guys. I love it. All right, so there's our y-axis, and then let's tweak both of these here. We'll just do the X and the Y like so. Let's see. Can I do... Can I set both of the accelerations to 0 on that? You know what? I think I'm actually just going to not even keyframe the X. I think I'm going to unkeyframe this. I'm going to remove this. I'm sorry, up here. Channels. I'm just going to... What am I doing here? Delete channels. There we go. Brain wasn't working there. All right, I'm just going to keyframe this because it's really just a super small X motion, and this will probably be fine. All right, so we wanted to go really quick and then kind of go. Just watch that one more time just for my own edification. Might tweak this a little bit. Maybe we'll start with this a little bit more. A little bit more rotated that way, and then we'll have it end up a little less rotated here, just to match it nicely, maybe like so. Cool. All right. So we want this to be pretty quick. Probably that to slow down there. So let's do something like that maybe. Let's see. It's great. My batteries are low on my headphones. Perfect. Bone destruction. Oh, that sounds horrible. No, thank you. All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay. You guys are great. Lots of good nerdy jokes there. All right, let's see what we can do. Just set the slope to 0. Make sure we're just trying to get a nice little pop here, hopefully. Okay, that'll do. That will do. I think. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. All right, so let's now animate this case open. So when it gets up like here, let's start animating it right there. Cool. Okay, so we'll give that. And then maybe to here. Give it a little something like that. Oops, didn't keyframe it. Maybe we'll do 15. All right, let's see. I'm just going to change this a little bit here. I want this to keep going. Kind of as long, a little bit longer here. All right, let's see how that looks. Definitely not an animator here, guys. So my apologies. Okay, that'll do like that. Okay, so we've got this. It's opening up here, and we also want to get some vellum papers going on in there. Yeah, Maddie. Simple RBD sim with velocity kick and retime should do the job. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I think maybe right around here, a little of that swing around two. Not sure what that means, but yeah, we'll try. So let's see here. So we've got these pieces. Just gonna close that. Let me think. What? What's happening here? I have a pink screen over there. That's weird. Oh, I must have clicked on something. Shoot. Let me go back to that. What pink screen live is, but that's interesting. Just curious how this pops apart. Okay. Yep, looks like it kind of all goes at once, actually. Okay. So I think maybe when it gets up like this, boom, like it's 60 right there. We have the sim kick in with this. So why don't we do this first, I think. Let's do an RBD configure here. just trying to think. Why don't we do that in its own object here? I'll just do a null here. Actually, no, sorry. I was thinking maybe we do it in its own object, but I think doing the simulation in here will be good because then we can use that as a collider for the vellum simulation. Just if we need it, we can kind of have the whole thing in here as one. So that's fine. All right, so let's do an RBD configure, I think. Do we need RBD? That's a good point. That is a good point. Probably not. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Do we need RBD? Let me think about that. It wouldn't be need. So Enya, you're asking if it would be needed to collide with the briefcase. What if you just load that video as reference it? Yeah, I could have. I guess I could have downloaded it, but sorry, I think it's like wow. Sorry. It's like absolutely it's like absolutely pouring right now and windy and stuff like that outside. I keep hearing this sound. I'm like, what is that? Sorry. I mean, for RBD, for the tearing apart. I'd probably use the vellum for the, for breaking. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with what everybody's saying here. I actually think I'm going to do a simulation. I think it'll be fine. It's going to be so basic. Yeah, I think RBD is going to be super simple to do. Hey, buddy. Okay. Somebody's a little scared because it's very windy outside. You're okay. Good boy. All right. So let's do it. Let's do RBD configure. I'm just going to do it this way. I actually think this will be fairly simple to do. And we can always switch between it. Oh my gosh. There's like stuff falling over outside of my house. Okay. The dog is freaking out. This is funny. Sorry, I'm like trying to keep track of what's going on here and hearing like thuds outside of the house and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully I'm not about to get swept away in like a tornado or anything like that. That would be very exciting. Yeah. Here, bud. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah, poor guy. Okay. So yeah, set some fireworks off. Yeah, that'll calm him down for sure. He was actually pretty good with the fireworks last year. This is just super random. So I think, yeah, he's super skittish about a lot of things. He's like a little German Shepherd, and so they're like, They're kind of like classically like super skittish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Philip. So you're saying Valen works with the suitcase as a collider, no problem. Just the splitting apart part needs to happen before that. Yep, exactly. So we're going to use this whole thing here up to this opening part as just a normal collider, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to time shift this to 60, and we can just go from there with the RBD sim. So let's do RBD bullet solver here. So like this should be, let's just put in a ground plane. Yeah, there we go. We've got that. That's great. We don't want to have any gravity because we don't need that at all. So we'll just turn gravity off. So now we should have that. Great. Let's see here. What's the best way to get the velocity here? Let's do oh, not a point deform. What am I doing? Point velocity. I can just feed this into here, and we should have the velocity on this. Oh, yes, there is, Maddie, there is an option for like hard objects in Vellum, but it's not really like what you would expect from rigid bodies, where it's made up of actually a bunch of points as the collider. So it's not exactly super accurate for something like this that would have a lot of like small pieces. So that's why I think I'm just gonna go with this this workflow. Okay, so let's see here. We should have some velocity being animated there. Great. And then this should have some velocity on it as well. And that's good because then it'll just hopefully keep drifting sort of in the direction that it's going. Let's do, yep, we're going to attribute transfer V and W onto this. So that's good. So this should actually now hopefully, yep, it'll just float upwards. The start frame we'll do on 60, just since that is where this actually is going to happen. So, and then we could just do a switch or switch if, either one, doesn't really matter. I'm going to put this in here, this there, and actually I'll switch sides on these because we'll just say, actually no, I'll do a switch if. So that's nice. It's got just two things on it. We don't have to worry about that, like any weird things. So we'll just enable this. We'll say yes. R does swap the switch. Swaps any node. It'll like, yeah, you can just do what is it? Shift R? Yeah, Shift R. Say greater than or equal to, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good little option there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So now we have it going up like this, and then into our bullet solver. So we have this all kind of going. So basically what we did there is we did some point velocity. Yeah, sorry, I was like reading a bunch of stuff in the chat and I wasn't talking very well. So what we're doing here is we're getting our point velocity, right? So that when we switch over to the RBD side of it, it has the velocity and we can have it just kind of inherit that velocity as it goes. I'm time shifting it just so we have it always at frame 60, so we don't have to like worry about this being time dependent here. So I'm just basically removing the time dependency. And then this is our RBD configure. It's transferring W and V. And then our bullet solver starting at 60, frame 60, doesn't have any gravity or anything like that. And this little switch if, I'm just doing $F is greater than equal to 60, which basically just means when the frame is greater than or equal to 60, then you're good there. Philip, extract centroid on first frame of the whole suitcase, V from that point to each side centroid. You could do that, but this RBD configure is actually doing that. It's transferring the attribute over to the packed geometry, basically. So that should do it for that. So cool. Let's make this a little bit longer here. We can maybe put this back up to 240 for now. Okay, so we've got the suitcase moving. The only thing we need to do here is this packed geometry. It is. So we would just need to unpack this just to make this, basically to make this geometry continuously the same, more or less. Yep, and there you go. You can see we have the same exact geometry. We just have a velocity on it now. We could actually do this if we wanted to. Yeah, I can do that from SOPs as well. I've also time shifted it here, Philip, so that it's just static, and we're calculating that information. So yeah, okay, cool. That's working. The unpack is obviously just getting us back to geometry here. Within the RBD bullet solver, I think what we could do, I'm trying to think of what's the best way of doing this. Maybe we just do a random direction here on our RBD configure, and yeah, let's do this. Oops, not that. Let's add an attribute here onto our proxy geometry because that's what we're simulating on, right? Let's add something there to let's do an attribute randomize here. I think this will be good. So this is going to be a point position, and let's just call this direction. And I'm going to say inside of a sphere, it's 3 dimensions. We don't really need to bias it towards any direction per se. Let's see what these look like here. If we turn this off and turn that on, let's just make sure we're in a marker setup here with a vector. Hello? Oh, is it because we're in a packed fragment that it's not showing it? I do think that it's something like that is why it's not showing it. I think if we do this, might be able to visualize it. There we go. Okay, so we have 4 pieces to this, and they're just going to kind of go in random directions here. So let's see. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Sure, I'm down with that. Okay, so those are directions we're going to push this thing in. And let's maybe just do that. Yeah, sure. And then probably within the bullet solver, we just want to, we can just do a little, just do a little pop solver here. So we've got our direction. Let's go inside of here. So we like to put our forces in here. So let's do a pop wrangle, I think will work. Pop wrangle, we'll throw that in there. First frame of this here. There we go. Okay, so we have our RBD object, we've got our geometry here, and we should have our direction on here. Yep, there's our directions. So what we can do is we can take this direction, and we could set our velocity basically from that, or we could add it to our velocity, right? So what we could do is we could say, well, let's activate this only, we'll say $F equals, I don't know, let's say frame 64. A couple frames in, give it a couple frames to just kind of settle. And then if F equals, actually I probably need to do that, right? And that should activate it on frame 64. Yep. Okay. So that's just going to pop that on frame 64. Boom, right there. Great. And so on frame 64, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up, we're just going to basically say v at v plus equals, and we'll say v at dir. We can play with this a little bit because obviously we're probably going to want to scale that, but let's just do it for right now, and we can just kind of see where that gets us. So let's hit play on this and see what we get. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Because those two things have the same piece, they're gonna be... I don't understand why those are stopping. It's really odd. Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's say, we'll just say float scale equals ch. We'll just add in velocity scale like so, and then we will add a little thing there. We could just give it a little something, and we'll multiply this by scale. Let's see how that goes now. Of course, this is at frame 60. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so obviously we're getting some of that stuff going, but we could just come back up here and add some drag, and we want drag spin, and let's put the air resistance at 1, probably higher than that, maybe 5. I don't know. Let's see how that goes. Let's see here. Yep, a little too high. All right, let's take a look at this here. I'm going to set this back to smooth shaded, something like that. Okay, so let's go down a little bit, maybe 2. You know what? I can actually reset this start frame. It doesn't need to be at 60. However, that internal one, you know what? I think if I do this, sorry, if I do SF equals 4, is that right? Okay, hold on. Let me just try one more thing here. If I change this to 60. Yeah, okay. SF is simulation frame, so that takes into account the start frame of the simulation. So we'll just do that. Okay. So there we go. We've got that moving around like so. I think these are like sleeping, right? I'm just going to say, give it a really long sleeping time because I don't want them to sleep at all. I want them to be able to really chill. Okay, cool. So we're getting that. And then let's get some... I probably wanted to spin a little bit more forces here. Yeah. Let's add some more drag spin into this and see where that gets us. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. All right, so we just got a little pop like that. And so we can change this now to be 60. And let's just take a look at what this will look like overall. So it's going to animate up like this, shoot the stuff out, and then boom, like that. Cool. Something. We're getting there. Could also, let's just put this to 1 and just see where that gets us. Oh, too much. 0.5. Let's try that. The other thing we can do too is we could give a random direction for W to add in some more angular velocity. So we could try that too. So hold on a second. All right. Sorry if I didn't mute that properly. Hopefully I did. All right, so let's do the same thing here, but we're going to call this one, let's call this one WDIR. And let's just change the global seed on this. We can come in here and do kind of the same thing. Give the same name to, yeah, no, I didn't do that intentionally. This is just it's just a crappy little thing. What I could do is I could come in here and for a project like this, how long should someone expect to take this to completion? I mean, I'm not doing like a stellar job on this, so I would say, you know, this is like, I don't know. It would be, if you're doing this like for real, that's obviously days and days of work. I'm just doing this quick and simple, right? So yeah, it certainly is not, I mean, you could rough in this animation in you know, a day and get, like, I'm just doing this as quick as possible, right? Just for the content, but you know, there's certainly much more you could do with it. And obviously there's like cleanup of assets and things like that as well. Let's see here. What I was just thinking, and Kieran made me think of this, was these top things have the same name to them. So if we look at the name attributes, these two little clips have the same name. Yeah, this is for TV. It would be a lot faster timeline than film for sure. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on how much of a beginner you are, you know. I mean, like, it's all this troubleshooting is the biggest part of it, right? So you might run into a bunch of different things that you have to troubleshoot. Like even just this, like these two clips are named the same thing. And so if I came in here and wanted to, I think I could just enumerate them, if I'm not mistaken, to make these separate pieces basically. So the piece attribute is name, and we're gonna do the attribute as, I kind of want it to be named too. Oh right. Let's do a connectivity here. And then we can use that for primitive. We should be able to use that here. So now we have our thing like that. And or no, maybe we don't even need this. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember here how this exactly works. And what if we do this? What will that do? That's doing it based on the element. Is it this or is it assemble? Maybe assemble would be the better thing to do. Just trying to remember exactly what. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is actually really cool. This will do a lot of different pieces, but we could just do it based on the clasps if we wanted to. And it would give those different names. And we could just say clasp. Yeah, that'll work. That's much better. That's a cleaner way of doing this. So we should be able to do that. And now when we come through here, let's see how that works. So now we should have these as different pieces. We should have two different clasps there. So let's see what happens here. Oh, weird. That totally changed. Well, of course it changed it because it was randomized from this. Yeah, so AZ, you were saying, could everything be done inside Vellum? Certainly you could. I don't think it would really be the best way to do this with the suitcase, just because it could be a little tricky to get the shape match to work exactly the way you want it to, and definitely doing RBD is like a much more like, it's a much simpler process than like simulating it all simultaneously in Vellum, and really the suitcase doesn't need to interact with the paper. The paper's not really we're not gonna do anything that way. So yeah, that would be my thought. Okay, so this, we're gonna do the extract thing again because extract all points. I'm just gonna use this as a little bit of just a visualization here. So I'm going to do some randomness here. Hello? Oh, right. Yeah, I just want those to be a little bit more random. All right, let's see how that looks. That's too bad. Those were looking like so nice. So let me just. Okay, let's try that. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, cool. We've got something going on here, so that works. Nice. Okay. And obviously we could let's also do this one here, this W attribute direction basically. And so let's come in here and we can just do some of the same stuff. And so let's just copy and paste this here. And we'll just say angular. We'll just do like that. Sure. And then. Oh, that's right. The USA soccer matches today. I forgot about, sorry, football matches today. All right. So we're going to do this for the W, which is the like angular velocity. And so we're going to use the W direction and then the W scale there. And let's do this. And let's just give this a 1 for right now and see if that gets us anywhere here. Okay, actually, let's do like 10 and just see what that does for us. Yep. And so you can see there's some real like crazy velocities there. If I go up to 100, we should see this like really spin like crazy. Yep. Cool. Okay. So that's now its own angular kind of velocity, right? So we can add that in as well. So those are two different random velocities that we can use. Oops, looks like that didn't actually reset. Weird. All right, let's go back in here. Sorry. Let's do like 10. Maybe let's do like 20 on that. Cool. Okay. There's our little animation. Yeah, whatever. Our own little unique thing. Okay, so angular velocity is the W attribute, and basically that means like rotational velocity. So it's I believe it's around a specific axis, right? And then it's a rotational velocity around that, if I'm remembering it correctly. So I think that's what it's doing. Or it could be how much it's rotating in each of those three axes. I can't exactly remember which way it works. But I know it's a vector for W. And then there's also linear velocity, which is just going in a straight line. That's just our normal like straight line velocity. So that's just basically our speed that we're going each frame, that's whatever distance we're going in the specific frame. So cool. Okay. So that all looks good there. So we've got this going up like this and it kind of busts apart. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to call that good for the sake of moving along here. So let's say out suitcase anim. And all these files will be online. You can always go to houdinihangout.com and grab the HIP files afterwards if you'd like to. So we'll do that, and then we'll do geo here. And actually, these aren't geo, these are sims. So I'm just gonna change some stuff around here. So we'll say sim papers, and let's go in here and mess around with that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to object merge in that output, which is nice because we can get our suitcase animation. And now all of that is, I'm just going to hide other objects. All of our animation and everything is all kind of baked into this now. Excuse me. So now you can see here, we've got that whole thing just as one animation. Nothing's really changing with this. You can see the points and the primitives are all exactly the same. And the only thing that's really changing, I think, is just kind of the order of the geometry base, or the primitives. Basically, it looks like we're changing a little bit in the order of those, but overall, it's just doing its thing. So that's good. Great. Okay. So let's just say get suitcase anim. There we go. Okay. So let's figure out what we want to do here. So, okay, I think what we could do here in order to make this work nicely is we could take our case animation here. I think we could output this as a transform attribute. That should work. Let's just see here. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so we can use that to transform some papers here. So let's do let's do a planar patch here. And the size of this, let's just make this a little bit smaller. Something like that. Would this object merge connect to the vellum collision? Yes, we're going to use this to use it as a collider for our vellum simulation. Yep, exactly. All right, so let's see what this could look like here. Maybe we'll do like that for right now. There's just like our little piece of paper. And what I should hopefully be able to do here is attribute copy over the X form. Hopefully this will work. I think this will work. So we should have our transform there. And then if we do transform by attribute, there we go. Hooray. That looks like that's working. Okay, cool. So you can see here we've got now that transform attribute is working for us. So that's very nice. And so we need to adjust obviously where the position of this planar patch is. Right now it's kind of low. And so I'm just going to center it like that. And now it should be nice and in the middle of that briefcase. However, we do want it to be maybe a little bit more rotated here. Now, the other thing that we could do before we worry about this is we want to have some velocity on these pages, right? And so let's do that. Let's add some velocity to each of these pages. So let's do a point. We can just do the point velocity to add it in pretty simply. And we can maybe visualize that with this here. And we're not going to be, we'll just say keep incoming. We're going to add some velocity to this. We want it to go up in the y-axis. So let's just say, I don't know, 5. Maybe that might be a little bit much, but we'll see. We'll give it 5 for right now. And then we can add a little bit of noise into this if we wanted to. Just a touch of noise maybe would be nice, so it's not like perfectly flat when it's like animating. But now what we should see is that this should transform with it too, because this is a vector, like a velocity vector, and so these attributes are going to get transformed when we transform it with that as well. And so if we want to, let's see, I'm just keeping that centered. Let's just put a little transform in here before we do the transform by attribute. And I'm just going to say paper position like so. And what we can do then is we can just kind of just tweak this around in here a little bit. And you'll see it update up there as well, obviously. And we can just do something like that. I'm going to turn these off because I just want to see where the page actually is, because it's a little tricky to see. Okay, so this should mean that it's going to go up in that direction now. So cool. Okay. And that should be good. It looks like it's closed inside of there as well, which is very good for us. And we should be able to start shooting those out pretty early on. And there we go. Cool. Okay. So AZ Design was asking, what is the transform attribute? So it's something cool that you can output from these transform nodes themselves. You can actually output an attribute here called xform. And what this does is it makes an attribute that is this 4x4 matrix, basically, that describes the animation that we've saved in there. If we look at this, we watch this kind of change, you can see that it's going to be, well, actually, it's kind of hard to see right now, but let me just make this a little longer right there. You can actually see that the translation is baked in right there. So you can see that we're only moving in the translation at first, and then everything else starts moving because we're rotating and moving the orientation of that whole object. And so this transform kind of encodes all of that information in it, and then it actually gets passed through all of these chains here, all the way down to the bottom. Now, once we do the simulation here, we're not actually updating this transform anymore, so kind of isn't really doing anything for us. In fact, yeah, right there you can see it just pauses and stops. So we're not doing anything more with the transform once we get into the simulation side of it here and we go into that branch, but it is getting passed out down here. And so then when we bring it in here, we're actually merging that in here, and it still exists in that stream of data. We're then copying just that attribute over to this stream of data now to our planar patch. And with that attribute, we can actually use this transform by attribute to move that with the exact same transformation information that, data that we used when we were animating it, basically. So we're using those two things and kind of allowing that to that animation to kind of go like flow through as an attribute. So this is like a really important thing to understand how attributes work in Houdini, because like this would be a really hard thing to set up otherwise, like where this page is following the animation of this suitcase. But because we can just pass that attribute through, it's like no problem. It's really, really simple problem, or a simple workflow now to kind of get into and do. The other really cool thing you can do with matrix stuff like that, which the math is very complicated, but just understanding that it's a matrix and it contains all the information for how it's moving, we could also take this transform by attribute here. We could put this over here, and so now it's doubly transforming, right? So now it's really doing some really funky stuff. But if we actually invert this transformation, it's going to be sitting at the origin now. So we're actually reversing what we did before, and putting it back into its kind of root, its kind of origin, scene origin. But all the animation is still there, right? So it's putting it back into that origin position. So very interesting. But yeah, the matrix is all around us, yes. But we're not going to do that. But just a little thing to show how useful those transform matrices can be. Okay, so we've got this page here, and we're going to have that go up. And as we want to start, we basically want to emit a bunch of pages here. And so you're very welcome, AZ. Glad to help you. No, I mean, Maddie, a reference transform is a good one as well. I was actually honestly thinking about doing that before I like thought about the fact that we could just pass the transform attribute. But yeah, a reference copy is fine as well. The only tricky thing about that is when you're in different objects, having the references, you just have to be more intentional with it. So it's a little bit trickier. Like if you have two streams of data, geometry data that's in the same object, then yeah, you can do that. It's no problem. But this way we're actually passing it to other parts of our network, and that's where it gets a bit trickier. Yeah, it's handy, and it's good to just know that it exists too, right? Like it's a handy thing, but just understanding that it's a workflow is always good as well. Okay, so cool. We've got this. Let's do vellum. I'm just gonna do vellum cloth for this, I think. Just throw this in here. And what we're going to do is, yeah, let's do that for right now. I'm just trying to think here what our best move is. We're gonna, oops, hello. So let's add some nulls in here. So we're gonna do a null for geometry and for our constraints. And then apparently my earbud died because I've been using it all day. I guess I'll charge it up. So what I'm actually going to do here is I am going to have these both, available to use. Sorry, I'm not sure if no, it's still going. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to do a vellum solver. Cool. Oh, yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining us, Krista. Nice to have you. All right, so we're gonna wire this in here, and it looks like we are going to do this at maybe frame 18 is where it's gonna start. Yeah, maybe we'll start it at like frame. Yeah, let's start it at frame 18. So I'm just gonna do start frame here at 18. And this is we're going to use this to kind of pull from and emit into this scene. So here's our solver. We're going to use a source, and we're going to do a vellum source, and we're going to use that to emit into. And we're going to do this. Let's just do it each frame for right now, just to kind of start figuring it out. We could always do it like subframes as well, and kind of figure out exactly how we want to, make this work. Let's do our stop path here, and we'll do our geo and then our constraints. like so. And actually, I'm just going to bypass this for 1 second because I want to move forward in the simulation here and see where it stops. So maybe 40. Maybe we'll have it stop at 40. So we'll just say 40 minus 18 is 22. So we'll just say SF is less than 22. I think that should work. Yeah, perfect. I guess technically we'll do 23 because I said one more frame. Yes, 22. We all got there in the end. Okay, so that looks good. Let's unmute this vellum source and just see what starts to happen here. What is going on here? Why is that playback so goofy? That was weird. Forgot to turn the gravity off. That's fun. Look at that. Whee. It's all stuck together too. Okay. Let's see here. Forces. Gravity, 0. Built-in wind drag. We're going to do like 2 for right now, maybe. Yeah, see, here's the only problem is that these are all stuck together right now, which we do not want. But it's working. Maybe what we do... Okay, I have an idea. Okay, I think I have an idea that will maybe work for us here. So, okay. So we have our planar patch. I wonder if maybe my other earbud was the one that... No, that seems fine. Weird. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, we could do it something like that with even frames, but what I'm actually thinking of is what I'm thinking is actually to do it where we have multiple sheets and have one of them emit at a time. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's come in here and okay, let's do multiple of these planar patches. So we've got our sheets here. Let's do a transform. Sorry, nope. Duplicate. Let's do like, let's do 4 of them. I don't know. That just feels right. I don't know why. And what's the thickness of these here? It's kind of hard to say. Let's go down a little bit on these. Maybe like that. And let's... Nope, wrong way. We're going to do this in Z. Okay, so we're putting a whole bunch of these next to each other. Let's just see what that looks like. No, that's too close. All right, so let's do... all right, so I'm just going to grab the parameters of this and go down and visualize this. And now hopefully we can... Let's see. Okay. Let's actually do it like this, and then we'll adjust the thickness here until we get something that we like. That seems good. Okay, great. All right, so let's try this. And I'm also going to do you can do this copy number, I think. And then that should pass through here. Great. Yep. Make sure that that comes all the way down here. It sure does. Cool. And let's just double check that the transformation and like the animation and everything like that is working okay. Looks good. Let's check this out. Make sure there's no weird like intersections or anything. Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like everything's fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I think the easiest thing here to do is I'm just going to do it right here. And I'm just going to do a blast. And we're just going to pull out, let's see, these are primitive attributes. And so we're going to say at copynum equals 0. Say delete non-selected, and that does seem to be working. Yes, cool. Okay, so I think what I could do here is let's try this. Could I do $F? Does that work? I think. Let's just see here. I'm gonna go down here. Yeah, let's see. Yep. Okay, cool. And then what if I do $F modulo 3? Is it like that? There we go. Okay, so I need to do modulo 4. So what modulo means is it's basically, it's basically a way to get the, is it the remainder of like division? It's basically your, I can't even think of the math right now, but basically what it, what it does is it, these little backticks basically just mean that we're going to evaluate that. Let me see if we even need that. Yeah, we do need that because we need to actually evaluate this because all it's evaluating right now is that. So now this will actually evaluate to a number because we're basically doing like a little expression there, more or less. Yeah, when the remainder hits 1, the loop starts again. Exactly. So it's basically just like a way of looping over values. And so if I did modulo 2, it's going to go 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So basically like 7 divided by 2, there's a remainder of 1. And so that's what's there. 8 divided by 2, there's a remainder of 0. So this is the same thing. So we do 4. There's a remainder of 0. There's a remainder of 1, 2, 3. These are just basically the remainders of the division. And so it just keeps looping over and over and over again. And so that's what a modulo does. So you can see it's basically all of these different pages are just going like that, crazy. And so let's try this. Let's see if this will do anything nice for us. Let's reset the simulation and go from there and see what that starts to do. Yes. Haha. Hooray. It worked. Cool. Now, I think we should actually have a little bit more velocity, actually. So we're going to do 10. And then down here on the solver, let's do the wind. Let's go up to 10 as well, I guess. I don't know. Oh. Nope. Too much drag. Let's do 4. That's funny. Okay. Let's go back to 2. Oh, weird. Okay, let's just turn that down. I just want to go crazy with this real quick. Let's just see what this does. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure that that was actually working. It seemed like it wasn't going any faster. It's really strange. Okay. The other thing I need to do is actually probably really adjust the stiffness of this. I feel like it's so stiff. Maybe it's the substeps. I don't know. No. No, I guess maybe that was okay. I don't know. It's really funny though that this is like, it gets so flat like that. That's so bizarre. Okay, so Enya's asking for the vellum cloth. What did you output the geo and constraints to nulls instead of connecting them to the solver? So if I was connecting these outputs here to the solver. Good night, no dinosaurs. Nice to have you. Nice to have you in the stream there. So if you are, if you connect these in, we can actually just do that real quick here. So I'm just going to connect these in. And I'm going to go inside of here and mute this. This is a little bypass that. So if we do this and we take a look at this, it's only going to shoot out one page, right? Because all it's doing is only sourcing once, right? It's only doing one sourcing if you're doing it this way. So what you do is instead you disconnect this and you just connect this vellum cloth in here. And actually, excuse me, this should probably be connected in there as our collision geometry. Now that I'm thinking of that, because we didn't have our collision geometry in there. So now we have some actual collision geometry, which is good. And where is that? Collisions, there you go. We'll also put a ground position in there. Not that it really matters, but okay, cool. So if we go inside of here, I have this vellum source node and I have the activation set for every simulation frame less than frame 23. So that's where it's activating. And then it's pulling from the geo and the constraints paths here to source into the solver. So you can see here, this source node is we're basically sourcing data into that from those two nulls. So this is just pumping it in there for it. Yeah, I mean, you could set this up in a DOPNet with Vellum, but you can do it in here too. So, I mean, it's kind of nice to have it all just set up for you there, but okay, let's try something here. I wonder if I just go down a little. I wonder if I need some, and yeah, I probably need some plasticity, honestly. Because we don't want it to like spring back. That's not really what paper does. Let's just try this, see what this does for us. Yeah, that's kind of looking cool. I actually think I'm shooting out too much there. So let's actually change this a little bit. Let's go to 16 for the simulation start here. So let's just give it a couple, like a frame earlier. And let's come in here and adjust this to be like 18. Seems a little too long. Yeah, that seems better. I'm just going to turn off the collision visualization. We can just kind of get a look at that there. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm also going to turn the stiffness down by half. Oh, that's the stretch. Let's do the bend stiffness, 0.5. I'm not sure what these thresholds even mean. Deform past the threshold. All right, I'm going to turn the threshold down a little bit too for the plasticity. I want it to really deform and kind of stay bent and stuff. I don't want it to like go back. Yeah, there we go. That looks kind of cool. Now, the other thing we can do here is inside of this vellum solver, we could also do a pop drag. And we could add a little bit more drag in here. Let's just leave that at 1 and see what that does for us. Because it feels like it's like not actually slowing down very quickly. So I really want it to actually slow down. All right, let's up that a little bit more, maybe 5. Okay, so we need some higher initial velocity again. So let's do that. Let's try this, see where that gets us. That's so weird. It's like going so fast that it looks like it's getting sourced from here. Like it's actually sourcing from inside there, but it looks like it's sourcing from there because it's like going so fast. Okay, let's turn maybe the air resistance down a little bit. And then we can turn this down a little bit as well. It's a balancing act, right? You know what? The other thing we could do is we could just animate this. All right, let's see here. So Sklabadur was asking, would Vex max speed times age, would that work? Yeah, I mean, that could work. I mean, if you were doing something where it slows down based on its age, but I don't think Vellum naturally does aging on its points, I don't think. I think that's more of a pop thing. Yeah, we'd have to actually add age into there because it's not technically like a particle thing, right? So let's do this. If I turn up the sub steps, that might help as well. So let's do this. Let's say the air resistance is 1, and we're gonna turn that up once we. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna turn it up once we get to. Probably once we start getting to like 30. Once we get to 34, we'll start animating it from there. So we'll do this and we'll go up to 48 and we'll get it to be like, I don't know, 5 maybe at that point. And so we'll just have it go up like so. And let's see what that does. Oop. All right, let's see what this looks like. So, all right, that's starting to do something cool. Nice. So I guess really the next thing that you would do to kind of get it to be in that sort of same space that what they were doing is having these kind of secondary things going on there. So what I would probably do there is have some of these sourced geometries like fractured already, and have those like glued together and stuff like that. And then break those apart at certain key points after you've kind of emitted those geometry or those cloth sims basically out into, once you've kind of emitted those. So that would be what I would do for that. Because here, if you look at this, we get kind of these nice little secondary kind of pops going on. Right? You get these little like shreds. And so really you would just have these sheets glued together, right? Like with constraints, and then you would break those apart similarly to what we're doing here. You'd give it maybe some sort of a frame that you would calculate that on, delete all of the, delete all of the constraints that's holding it together, and then maybe have some sort of stored directional velocity that you were going to do, and then use that to basically, at the same time that you're deleting the constraints, just add that velocity in, just all at that same frame, and just have them break apart. Be a very similar kind of concept to some of the other things we've done here. It would just be, breaking constraints and simulating that out. We won't really have time here to be able to get into that because I'm right at 8 o'clock right now, and I think getting close to being done with this for the evening. But yeah, maybe if we're interested in this, in taking a look at this, maybe we could do that next week if anybody's interested. So you can, yeah, that's maybe something I'll think about for next week. Maybe we'll look into how we would break those sheets apart and start simulating those. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool overall. I mean, it's like, it's not exactly, there, but it's, we're starting to get some of these things working kind of the way we want it to. I'm liking that we're getting that kind of plastic deformation with these sheets, right? They're kind of crumpling and staying crumpled, which is an important thing to do, right? You don't want them to like fold back out flat. That's just not super realistic. Although in that shot, in this, they really do stay pretty flat. So yeah, your call, obviously, however you would want to do something like that. Gerota was saying, can we use a custom bend stiffness mask to rig paper in Vellum? You probably could do, I mean, you can do just about anything. Let me think here. Bend stiffness. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really be like rigging, but you could certainly use an attribute to scale the stiffness based on, you know, an attribute map that you have, or a mask attribute. Yeah, you could probably do that. I mean, you could use some custom bend stiffness masks to like make the paper do what you want it to. I think trying to control it too specifically using that would be hard, because again, you're just working on the points themselves. Like you don't have resolution, you know, finer than just the geometric resolution, right? For the attributes. But yeah, certainly an interesting thought. AZ was asking, Peter, don't you have Instagram? I do, but I don't really use it. I had it a while ago and I was posting stuff there, and then I just stopped. And I don't have Instagram for Houdini Hangout. Like, I don't know what I'd post on there. A picture of me going like I'm simulating. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would put on there even. Yeah. Anyways. Cool. Well, I think we've got a nice little simulation going here, and maybe if people are interested, we could keep going with it next week or do something different. I don't know. Plenty of options, but cool. I think that's where we're going to sort of wrap things up for this week. So thanks everybody for being here and for chatting and everything like that. Thanks for putting up with me having to take my dog out, and for Storms randomly making crazy sounds in the background. And yeah, I think if you want to join the Discord server, feel free to go on to HoudiniHangout.com, check out the Discord invite that's there, and you can go on there and ask questions, get help, talk about whatever. You know, lots of folks on there. Oh, Enya, no problems at all. Happy to answer newbie questions or questions of people that have been doing this for 20 years. All good. No problem at all. There's no, I've said that many times in intros to these streams. There's no dumb questions. Happy to answer anybody's questions. The suitcase file is, no problem, man. Glad to have you here chatting. The suitcase file is on Polyhaven. And I can distribute it, but I don't have it in that folder actually. So just go to Polyhaven and download it. It's there, and then you can just relink the file node in there just to FBX. But once you do that, it should all work just fine. So yeah, if you go onto the Discord, you can get the HIP files for every Houdini Hangout. They're all on there. So yeah, I'll upload that after this, after I'm done with this. But yeah. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even sharing my screen there for a second. But here's the suitcase model. It's on Polyhaven. You can just go and grab it. Maybe throw them a few bucks if you like using their stuff. I use them a lot because if you scroll down here, there's a nice big logo down here that Side Effects has put there. So I always feel very happy to use their stuff because I know that we support them. So anyways, cool. Anyways, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining and for being here. Hopefully next week I'll have my normal headphones fixed somewhat and back to normal, and I can hear things like I want to hear them. I feel like I'm like kind of in a weird world with these earbuds in my ears. But anyways, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for throwing out ideas and for being a part of the conversation. That always makes this way better than just me sitting here and talking at people. So I always appreciate everybody putting in their thoughts and comments. So with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you all for being here, and see you all next week. Keep an eye on the Discord and social media stuff if you're looking for announcements for what we're doing next time. Thanks everybody for being here. See all the thanks there. So thank you. And yeah, see you all next time. Have a great day, night, whatever it is. See you then. Bye.